Okay, we'll call to order the meeting of the town of Ixonia, our August regular meeting. Pledge of allegiance, or roll call first, I'm sorry.
Tom Perry is absent. Brian Dirty,
Here.
Dave Kester,
Here.
Dan Rupnow,
Here.
and Rick Ziegler.
Here. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, because of a clerical error, we're going to skip approving the minutes from last month. We'll have that on next month. So, public comment.
I have Joni Rupnow on a general item.
Joni Rupnow, W506 Guns Road. I tried sending an email about the stipend policy, but the links are broken and I didn't have time to fix it on my phone, so I thought I'd just talk. I would like for the board to revisit the stipend policy. I contacted Joanne about getting a copy of the policy, and she said there is nothing. She could not find anything. And as a legit town board or town, we need to have a policy written down. It can't just be, well, this guy said, or this is the way it's always done. We need to have an official policy so that people know what to expect, when they should get it, and how often they should get it. So I'll also give you a copy of this, but I just want to see that stipend policy revisited. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Mr. Marabi, did you want to talk now, or are you just waiting for your item on the agenda? Okay, so then no. Okay, thank you. I don't have any more.
No more. The treasurer's financial report. Anybody got questions?
I asked Joanne questions earlier. All my questions have been satisfied on this packet.
Anybody else?
I don't have anything that time.
Maybe a motion like to approve?
Move to approve the treasurer's financial report for July 2026.
Second it?
Have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? With no further discussion, all those in favor signal by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Treasurer's report's approved, subject to audit. Jefferson County, our supervisor, Bruce.
Well, you're moving along pretty fast, but I'm afraid I'm gonna slow you down a little bit.
I'm gonna put a time limit on you, an egg timer.
I'm sorry, there's no time limit on it. Anyway, tonight it's gonna be all about EMS because we're getting down to actually putting policies together for the county, going to the finance committee for getting this tax levy going for EMS. Many things are going on with it. Just to bring you up to speed for the people in the audience, and that, we started on this back in June of 2025, and setting goals and things like that. Partnered with the city to collect data, develop a funding formula, which took until this past when the semester ended in May, and that so we spent a lot of time with it, going back and forth and everything else, and a lot of different things, different feelings from everybody involved. One thing we just did this last week is we met with Dodge County and Washington County and found out that they're basically doing the same thing we're doing, even though we've never met on it yet. And Dodge County is in the infancy stages of it. Washington County is to the point where it's going to get implemented pretty quick here, but they're on a different type of a budget because they're on a biannual budget. And we're to the point where we're gonna start going to the county board and getting this, enacted. Whether or not it goes through that, we don't know. You know, we did come to the consensus, the EMS system in Jefferson County is not broken. Actually, it's doing very well, except that the funding is not there to fund full-time EMTs and EMTAs and paramedics all over the place. And that's where we're running into trouble. And I don't know if you remember back a few months ago, I had a map that I had circles drawn on with the response areas and that. If we're in a 10-minute response area and everybody's right there at the station, not a problem. But it's after a while when there's not people at the station where our response times for some departments go down quite a bit. But everything is working. There are no calls that are being dropped because of lack of personnel. If you read in the news and follow it on Facebook, Bayfield County last year had 108 unanswered calls through the EMS. They figured this year they're gonna have more. And that, so they're looking at different ways of forming an ambulance service to cover these dropped calls and everything. Now granted, Bayfield's a altogether different county than what we are here because it's way up north, but still 108 dropped calls is, you know, it's a pretty good chunk of calls that aren't getting answered. So we don't want this to happen in Jefferson County. That's why we're doing what we're doing. What we have come up with, the Universal City students, you know, presented quite a few formulas on how to handle this. And one of the ones we finally focused on is the 25, or well, we did three things. You got either 1% or 0.1 mill ratio, 0.25 mill ratio, or 0.50 mill ratio. And that we sent it off to Finance Committee to do the 0.5 mill, which would have brought in a lot of money, about $6.5 million to the EMS service. The problem with that is that would be higher than what the sheriff's department is getting off of the taxation right now. Would cost for a few ruffled feathers, to put it lightly, and that. So the Finance Committee has said that we should go to the 0.25 mill. We might be working, you know, something more towards the 0.33 mill to get a little bit more money. I don't know what finance is going to say about that yet. But anyway, at the 0.25 or 0.25 mill, and the equalized valuation of would bring us in at about $3,185,000. Yeah, I gotta check back over my figures here. And that, 1 second. Anyway, right, would bring into the EMS service $3,185,194 in for the EMS fund to be distributed to all the different departments, of which there's 13. And this year, 2026, the county's equalized valuation went up 9%. Do not know yet if Finance Committee and the county is gonna go and use that evaluation, or if they're gonna stay at the 2025 evaluation, just to kind of keep the taxes down a little bit, or you know, whatever. But if it went up to 9%, there would be $3,522,306.55 that would come into that account. Exonia's share of that will be at the 2025 will be $257,174.52 that would come into Exonia Fire Department. And this is based on 50% on population, 25% on area, and 25% on equalized value. And that, so, and if we went to the 9%, Ixonia would get, excuse me, $284 or $284,401.50. Pretty good increase in there, depending on which formula finally gets used. This at the 0.25 mil will add $50 onto, the value was on a $400,000 home. It would increase your tax bill by $50. You would have a separate line on your tax bill for EMS services. If we went to 0.5 mil, you just double that number, so it'd be $100. So that's kind of where we're at now. We have to, we presented this, the reason I brought this up now is we presented this at the unit meeting at the Wisconsin Towns Association that was down in Concord here a couple weeks ago. And we've also presented this to the Chiefs Association. And now we're gonna go, and you have these flyers on your desk here, on your table there. On Thursday, September 17th, we are going to have a meeting at the courthouse from 7 until 8:30, where we're gonna discuss this and present it to the public. Where we're hoping that we have county board people there, we have, obviously, our committee's gonna be there. We're gonna have a facilitator running this meeting so that it doesn't get out of proportion with different people talking or whatever, you know, the facilitator's supposed to handle it. We are gonna talk, as far as the committee, we are gonna be talking there also, how this program is set up to work. There's gonna be another one on the 24th of September, from 7 until 8:30 p.m., identical to this first one, but that will be at the Watertown Fire Station in their new meeting room that they have there. So I would encourage you people as a town board to come to one of those meetings, just to find out what's going on and voice your opinion. And we've had a lot of comments as far as, you know, well, the towns and the villages and the cities should be the ones getting this money. This money can only be used for EMS personnel or the actual functioning operation of the EMS service. It can't be used for firefighting. It can't be used for anything else. So it's basically to the wages of EMTs. And that, so if it would go to the municipalities, Ixonia is unique. We're the only township that has a fire department. All the other townships have to contract with somebody. And so, being that they contract with somebody, the townships could go and say, well, we're gonna use this for our fire contract and EMS contract money, you know, and lower the cost of their contract money. That's not gonna work that way. We're gonna have to come up, the EMS work group committee is gonna come up with another committee at some point in time that's gonna oversee this, and there's gonna have to be a checks and balance on this thing so that everybody's using this money where it's supposed to be used. And that, we cannot, we can support firefighter, EMTAs, firefighter paramedics, things like that, because fire service and EMS work together, and basically EMS service is funding the fire departments now versus back when I started it, fire department was funding the EMS service. So that's fine to do it that way, but it's just for personnel. And so I definitely would encourage everybody here, and I have more of these flyers if you want to take some along, to come to one of these meetings and find out really what's going to go on. A lot of things to put together yet. We might know more by these meetings because there's going to be a couple finance committee meetings, a couple exec committees. Before that, the county is working on budget now. So a lot of things can be happening. Got any questions?
Bruce, the committee that, or the group that's putting this together, they've come back, and I understand they've got to advance this mill rate piece, but there's also the pieces, what, you know, we talked about what it's gonna be used for. Staffing, personnel, it would be an increase in existing, is that the whole, I mean, is the whole premise to
Yeah.
increase the existing population?
Right, you know, Watertown needs to put on about 2 or 3 more EMT or more paramedics than that because of handling the paramedic intercept calls. We have gone through and looked at this paramedic service as, if we had a paramedic in Exonia on every shift, wouldn't it be feasible because not many calls are paramedic. So we've kind of come up with this plan that Watertown's gonna be, and Western Lakes are gonna be our paramedic people, and they're gonna go to Waterloo and Exonia, Lebanon and that. Western Lakes will take care of a part of it and that. So, but we still need the EMTAs to go out and that. So it's hoping that we can maybe generate some people here for Exonia that finally you have either a 12-hour shift every day, each for 12 hours to cover the 24s, or however a shift may get lined up. I mean, that's gonna be Calvin's job to figure out how to make that work. And, you know,
I
to you guys.
just, I mean, we come up with the need for money, and we knew that it was gonna be out there, but the proposal as to what that's gonna be used for and how that will be used, I guess that's what's really what I'm interested
Right.
in.
Right now, it's supposed to be used for personnel because everybody needs personnel. All
Yeah.
the departments need personnel. Thing is this creates about 25 new positions for EMTs and EMTAs. The schools aren't gonna be able to supply them. So it's gonna be, there's gonna be a lot to this, but we gotta start someplace, you know, and hopefully as the time goes on, you know, this might increase as far as getting money through the county taxes. This tax can only be accessed by the county. The town boards can't do it, the cities can't do it, and the villages can't do it. The only way you guys could get extra tax is if you pass a referendum. And 2 departments in Jefferson County have done that, City of Fort Atkinson and Jefferson. And both of the fire chiefs advise, don't even go there because that is very painstaking to get a referendum passed to bring your department up to what needs to be.
And just a question, you've got one of the districts being here, Western Lakes, as a district.
Yeah, Western Lakes takes care of Sullivan, what used to be Sullivan Ambulance, the Sullivan Fire Territory,
Oh, I was not aware of that.
part of Concord, right, Calvin?
Rome and Sullivan.
Rome and Sullivan and what they all taken care of in Concord and that. So that's their area there. And that's another thing we have to look at, you know, is that we're trying to keep this money for Jefferson County.
Yeah.
And that it doesn't filter off into another county like Dodge County, Waukesha County.
It goes into that Western Lakes pool, it could very easily be dissipated out.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Right, but they're gonna have to use it for this area here by Sullivan.
And what, as a town, then, what controls are they looking at providing us, so we know we're getting what we're supposed to be getting?
As far as money or?
Money, staffing, whatever the
Well, this
source.
formula that we came up with, this is what it's gonna be.
Okay,
Now, what's gonna happen if somebody isn't following through on it, you know, and that there's extra money or they can't use it, or, you know, they won't be able to do it for staffing and that, what's gonna happen to the extra money? We don't know
to
yet.
be determined, okay.
And, we are talking about with Dodge County, they're talking about getting a coordinator, an EMS coordinator together. But they feel that they won't have enough just to actually fund that person's position. And so then we might share it with them. And so that we actually have a coordinator to go over all these figures and find out where this is all going and everything.
And
You know,
did you guys,
doing this, the county has to come up with a medical director for this, which Dr. Rinstrom from Mercy, I believe, will probably be doing it. and working together with all the other, medical directors. Calvin, I think there's 3 different medical directors in the county right now, isn't there?
That I don't know. Yeah, 3 or 4.
Dr. Winston takes care of the southern part, I think, and you guys got one from Summit or someplace, don't you?
Yeah, Aurora Summit Centers.
Yeah, so, yeah, there's, we're trying to get this going so that we have something to work with. And these funds, you know, might get collected in January, but they might not get distributed until July or August of next year, depending on what we all come up with and that, so. But we have to start somewhere.
So this isn't basically for towns to try to get their own EMS going again. It's kind of what's in place right now, and that's why you're letting, you know, the funds go to Western Lakes. Like, Corsica Zone is different. You know, we've got our own fire
Well,
department.
I mean, Western
it's got to be a
Lakes-
pretty fine line for you to watch.
You know, Western Lakes is there, you know,
Right.
we don't know what happened, you know, we know what happened with Sullivan, why they don't have their own EMS service. And that, what might happen in the future, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
we've tossed around ideas. We can't tell people the services what to do. But I doubt very much that we're gonna have any other ambulance services in Jefferson County other than the 13 that are there. And most of them are part of the villages or the cities. Ixonia is unique because that's the only township fire department. Koshkonong and Oakland paying into city of Fort Atkinson, but they are paying, each of them are paying over $400,000 to the city of Fort Atkinson for fire and EMS coverage, which they are the highest ones in Jefferson County. And I think, you know, there's been a lot of questions raised of why they're so high and everybody else is low. So,
How is it gonna help those areas then? Because we contract with the Watertown, town of Watertown, and Concord, town of Concord. And they contract with Fort Atkinson. How does that help them? I mean, I think,
well, you know, part of this funding process is the 50% on population.
Yeah.
Which they're taking in effect. Ixonia is only 5,500 people, somewhere around there. Well, actually, this population and this calculation is 5,900 people with the people from town of Concord.
Watertown and Concord, yeah, I know we factored that in.
So that's how that's coming in there, you know, and then 25% area. It's already calculating that area up and
So
then
then-
equalized valuation.
So then Fort Atkinson, because they have that contract with Oakland, they would pick up that population in that area and that equalized value?
I don't,
I-
I can't answer that really good because, that they have some formula that they use and that's what they come up with. And then they developed this 10-year contract with Koshkonong and Oakland that I don't know what's gonna happen in there and that, because both of those calculations take Oakland and Koshkonong over their levy limit. Because they have to borrow money to operate their townships.
Hmm.
And that, so, their hands are pretty tied with that. But then they look at the rest of the townships and they go, how come you guys aren't paying as much, you know? And-
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of questions. I think it'd be really important for you guys, for these meetings coming up in September though, to have, before the talk of increasing the levy, this is what the plan is. This is what we need to do
Mhm.
now. This is how we're going to do it. I mean, because we knew there was a need, but we went right kind of the levy, and I get why, because it takes time to get it through, but we still need to understand the value. We know what the cost is, now we need to know what the benefit is.
Well,
you know?
it's a lot with personnel. I mean, I don't know, Kelvin. I know I've talked to you about it, but you know, personnel are hard to come by and that, you know.
You said they have 10 years down there? They
What's
have a
that?
10-year contract down there? Is
Yeah.
That's a lot. It's a lot to stick out. I mean, between changing times, you know what I mean? It's kind of up to them if they should have shortened it. So maybe they could capitalize someplace else, you know?
That's
Would you send yourself out there 10 years of high interest rates? You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's their choice, but
That's what they agreed to, you know,
Yeah,
that wasn't,
yeah.
we weren't involved in that. We're just trying to sustain a system. Because people have come and said, the system is not being sustained. The city of Lake Mills contracting with Ryan Brothers, and that's just in the city limits. That Ryan Brothers takes care of their patients there. When it's the outlying areas that Lake Mills Fire covers, they have to fire, they run that by their own, you know. What other example could I, you know, Palmyra uses Western Lakes a lot for a lot of intercepts, Ixonia. Not so much, but that could change overnight, you know, too.
Yeah, even Palmyra's, Palmyra switched to an AEMT level service, so they've cut back on how much they use Western
Yeah.
Lakes.
Waterloo, you know, that they're supposed to handle more area up in Dodge, or in, Dodge
I know,
County
okay, let's
and that, so.
wrap it up.
Waterloo has their own, am I right?
What's that?
Waterloo has their own, am I right?
They have their own ambulance
Yeah.
service, but they are not fully paramedic. They might have one or two paramedics, but they aren't classified as a paramedic service. And that's, so they rely on Watertown, coming out of Sun Prairie, out of, for their paramedic service, so.
Getting close to the Dane County line there, so.
What's that?
Getting close to the Dane County line
Yeah,
over that
and they
way.
go into Dane County.
Yeah.
So.
It's gonna be critical, the tracking, the monitoring, the accountability is gonna be critical. Because of all of these tentacles.
What, I'm sorry. what
Like
is-
Waterloo, you know, they don't, so I mean, all these tentacles with this money and how it'll be used and supported, you know, that'll be very difficult.
Right. We're just, you know, the services that are in Jefferson County, you know, if they have to go outside of the county, well, that's fine, you know, the money, most of the money is staying in
Yes.
Jefferson County. And that the service,
I think some of your questions will be answered as it continues on
No, I
and
agree.
as some of these other meetings. I mean, right now, I think we've covered about as much of this as we can.
so, anyhow, I mean, at least please come to this meeting and find out more.
Thanks, Bruce. Okay, before we move on any further, if some of you don't know, Perry Getch was our old, town chairperson. He passed away Saturday night. Perry passed away Saturday night. His true love and passion was the town and, Fireman's Park and some of the other things. He's accomplished a lot. There is no information to be had yet as far as funeral or anything, but, at this moment, I'd like to just everybody take a moment and we pay our respects for everything he's done. Okay, we'll move on. I know Perry would have wanted us to continue on. Unfinished business, we're gonna skip over the public works facility this evening. There's a few technical questions that have come up that we can't answer at the moment, so we're gonna move on until we have the answers that we need. So we'll move on to B, discuss and possible action clarifying policy of stipend payments to board, commission, committee members. Information was in your packet. Does anybody have a problem with the way it was presented?
I wanna make, something clear.
I didn't see anything in my packet. So. Go ahead, Rick.
We, as a board, on 2 separate occasions already, have voted on this very motion. On the last meeting, July 13th, we voted on this motion. And it was the board's decision at the last meeting to leave it in its present state. It's a fact that our chairman does review all of the checks that are written and in fact signs each one upon reviewing things. So our chairman is checking those things out. He has worked with that policy all the days that he's been on the board. I make a motion to leave the stipend the way that it is.
Well, I believe to be good business and to continue moving on, there should be a written policy to clarify what it is and what it does and who's eligible. I don't want the stipend to go away. I believe that the discussion was brought up, and I totally agree that it's to encourage and say thank you to the people that have taken the time to do it. So that's why I had Joanne put something down that could possibly be how we define it. So,
You know my position on this.
well, I
guess I would just point out one thing.
Okay,
We as a board,
Well, before we go on,
wait,
I have a motion by Rick.
oh, sorry.
So you need to, see if you're gonna get a second or not on that
did you
motion.
make a motion on that, or was that just a discussion?
I don't know. I guess I need.
did you make a motion, Rick?
I made a motion to,
Okay.
like we did at the last meeting, to leave the stipend as it is and as it has been for the past 20-some years. That was the motion that I made.
Okay, I have a
That was-
motion. Do I have a second? Okay, the motion dies due to lack of a second. Is there any other discussion?
I have discussion on here. We are presented with these things. They're pretty vague, okay? So we have what we want to get paid, and it's a blank.
Well, right.
Do
so
we
you guys
have a
could fill it in.
certain, do we have a certain amount that we're looking at, or are we looking to proceed forward so that we can put an amount in there?
Well, right now, you guys get paid $30 per meeting that you attend. So I left it blank because I know you had said in your email that you wanted to see $25. So that's why I left it blank, because I was taking some of that information and I created this policy for, as Brian asked me to. So that's why I left the blank dollar amount. So you guys can
Okay.
decide what you want to put in there.
So first and foremost, our role here is to provide guidance to our staff. As it's been pointed out, they don't have guidance. There's nothing to refer to on this at all. If somebody were to come in and ask, where's your policy? How do you?
I realize that. That's why we're
We-
trying to
I-
move.
We have nothing.
That's why we're trying to make one tonight.
Okay, I get it, but I'm just telling you, that's our fundamental task here, is to make sure we provide guidance to our staff. And we're not doing that, so I'm glad it's back on. I didn't ask for it to be put back on. You did. So, as far as the dollar amounts, we'll fill them in. We can do that with an amendment. That's not a problem. I guess I would move to approve this policy.
I would like to put a dollar amount in. I'd like to leave it at the 30
Okay.
because it's been that way for 20 years. And I don't believe 30 is a big,
So,
So we could get a second first, and then we can offer amendments to this. Is that correct? First, I need a second, because I just made a motion
You made a motion,
to approve the policy,
to approve the policy.
as stated.
Yes.
So my
You could-
suggestion is if we get a second, then we can move forward with amendments to this policy, as in, i.e. putting in a dollar amount.
Or you could
i.e.
make a motion and put a dollar amount in there.
so what we're talking about now, the amount that we receive now, is that 30?
Yes, it's
Or-
$30.
It's already in there, the amount that we're giving now.
There's
or
not.
not.
There's
or
nothing
it's
written
gonna be- it's
anywhere.
gonna be
It's just
over and
that's what
above.
it's been, was $30. So you get your monthly
Yeah.
amount that you get for being a supervisor.
Yes.
This is for every meeting you attend, whether it's a town
So
board.
it's gonna be over and above that amount?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this isn't any meeting you attend, like if you go to,
Yeah, like I
Board
said to you
review.
before, I'm not here for the money.
I got it.
I'm-
And
we understand
I'm
it.
here for the people of
We
Exodia.
understand
okay?
it, but we're trying to create a
And I'm here to
policy.
help everybody
Because I
where I
made the
can and
motion.
what I can.
Yes.
Let's just leave it. We'll amend it after, okay?
Okay.
So we're just looking for a second, if there's a second out there.
So what we're looking here for, you're wanting me to go ahead with this policy that we should have something on the books and that we would go later to amend the
Right.
amount?
No. So. I need to
Second it so you guys can discuss the
So
dollar
we can
amount.
discuss it
Yes,
and then people can
exactly
offer
what I'm saying.
amendments to this.
Exactly what I'm saying.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I was second to go ahead with getting something down here is what we have. Okay.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion?
I would like to offer some amendments to this policy. Those amendments include adding a $30 amount in the blanks, and this is for both elected and appointed. In addition to that, I would like to set a timeline. So we have a staff that needs to reconcile this. If they're doing them every 6 months, reconciliation becomes very difficult for them. So I would put a 30-day window on submission.
Okay,
And last but not least, I think we should have something in there outlining, and it's not used right now, but staff. So one of the items in staff was previously, and I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but staff, it reverts to the existing pay scale if attending in their professional capacity. If they're not, if they're on a board, which I don't know that we have any right now, but if they're on a board, then they would be eligible as a appointed and or confirmed individual. I can give you the verbiage on that, Joanne.
Yes, that would be great.
So you're looking for somebody on the outside that's not on the board. I'm trying not to.
So staff, we have staff at meetings,
Correct.
so they're paid, and that would continue. I just want to clarify that when staff attends a meeting, they're paid their whatever their going rate is. If they're attending as a confirmed and or appointed individual, not as in their capacity, then they would fall back to the stipend policy, which is the $30.
they would be eligible for it.
Correct.
If you want it.
Again, and we can do that also. This is not a mandatory requirement for anybody. But it applies to town board, planning commission, park and rec. Again, I just want to give these guys as much guidance as possible.
No, I
So
understand.
when we get audited or when there's an audit, it just doesn't come up. We just don't need to have that hanging out there.
Is there any other discussion on this? Hearing none, I'll,
Can I, just before
We
I,
have
all right,
motion.
so he's got the motion, and we have a second, but now you're.
Offered an amendment.
You offered amendment, so
I need a second on the amendment.
need a
Yes.
yes, need a second on the
So
amendment.
you're on the 30, right?
Correct.
Is that what you're saying right
Correct.
now? 30 for both?
Correct.
Okay.
I'll second the amendment.
Okay.
So now we have a motion and a second on the policy plus the amendments.
Yes.
And I'm not gonna try to
Do you want,
re-
do you want me to read it?
no,
Okay.
it's fine. But, okay, all those in favor signal by aye. Aye. Opposed?
Opposed?
Okay, motion carries. We have a policy. It will be in writing
Thank you.
and we can move on. New business. Request by Moravi Family Trust to rezone split existing house parcel from remaining land at N8697 Hustisford Road, parcel 012-081-1831-1831-000.
So before you guys move on, I'm just gonna say real quick, or Dave could do it, but this gentleman had come and you guys already approved the zoning change. This is just approving the lot split. And then Mr. Moravi, you can expound on that if you'd like.
Sure. My name is Moran Moravi. We are the owner of the North 8697 Hustisford Road house. We have a house there. We live in it. We also have a farm next to it. And we like to separate the farm from the house. At this time, we're not planning to build anything. There's not planning to move or do any other things rather than just separate the two entities.
what is the thinking that, you wanna separate it? What's the thought process?
The farm is being rented out as a part of a business, so I like to keep that separate from the house that we live in.
What is the acreage of the house?
The house acreage, do you have it in there? Is it- Well, it's gonna be 1.1 acre because that's what the Jefferson County wants it at. And the remainder of it will be
Farm.
the farm,
And how many acres is the farm approximately?
about 36 acres.
Okay.
You're just separating the residential off the farm, correct?
Yes,
Septic and all that stuff is on the lot.
yes.
Well, no shared wells or anything with anybody?
No,
So again, this has been in front of us before on the zoning, and
Right.
what happened, there's a lot of, and I have to apologize on,
okay,
what we put you through on this is ridiculous. We corrected those errors, so I thank you for being patient.
sure, of course.
But this is really just something planning commission is apologetic to because they were part of the delay. But, this is something that's been hanging out there for 3 months.
Yes.
And we've approved most of it in different capacities. We didn't know about we weren't apprised on the split in a timely fashion, so we could have assumed, but we chose not to. Again, we've learned some lessons,
It's okay.
so at your expense though,
That's
unfortunately.
okay. Thank you.
Remaining acres are what on that farm?
The farm is about 36 acres.
And that is with the lot off?
Roughly, yeah. I don't know the exact amount of it, but yes,
So you're about 35 acres with the lot off then?
yes, something like that.
So a question I have, if this is approved and then say today, and then you decide tomorrow
It's in
to
farmland
sell the
preservation,
farm,
yeah.
it's a separate entity, you can sell
It's
the
got
farm
still farming.
and then stay at your house.
Yes. If I plan, we are not planning to move at this time. We don't have any
Well,
plans.
you wouldn't have to move, you could stay there.
Yes.
And live there, but you
Yes.
could separate from the farm. And,
Yes.
and it could be in another owner's hands.
Correct.
I move to approve the request by the Marbury Family Trust to rezone the split existing house parcel from the remaining land at N 8697 Eustisford Road, parcel number 012-0816, 1831-000.
I second it.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, say by aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Thank you for your patience, sir.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, guys.
Request by John and Keisha Boucher for conditional use to allow for accessory dwelling unit in existing A1 zone at W1201 County Road CW, parcel 012-0816-0323-001.
My name is Kashabaki. My husband John apologizes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
For not being here. Oh, no, I heard every pronunciation. It doesn't bother me. He had a work obligation tonight, so he couldn't be here. We are seeking approval for an accessory dwelling unit on our property.
This was in front of planning. It is a existing facility that's already being built, and they're going to be elaborating, enhancing that building to create an ADU.
Okay.
Did you want to elaborate at all on the family?
Sure. So after the original plan to just have a garage, then we found out about the accessory dwelling unit. And so the plan is that the backside of this garage would have a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom living quarters that would be used by my parents and my sister who is disabled. She will someday come and live with us when my parents are no longer capable of taking care of her. And so this is just an opportunity for them to come and stay, you know, maybe a weekend here and there. It wouldn't be something that they would live in permanently or full-time. It's just a way for them to come and, you know, watch kids' sports, stay someplace without having to be in a hotel, get her used to being in this area, you know, build some connections in the community, and then she'd be comfortable living there when the time comes. And at that time, she would come into our home, most likely, but this is a place, there's not room in our home right now with our family size for there to be room for my kids and sister, so.
And
allows
this
that.
does fit within the county's ADU ordinance that they recently put forth. And the planning commission did unanimously approve it.
So this building that you're building right now, was it planned for this or it was being built and then you decided to add this on later?
Yep, so we had the original plan for just a garage. We don't really have a garage that we're able to use. And so we had an original plan, and then in the process, we found out that this was approved for the accessory dwelling unit. And so then we adjusted the plan and made the room for the 2 bedrooms and a bathroom.
So everything is like up to code as far as plumbing, septics, all that.
Yeah, we're in compliance with all of that.
Okay. Other question is if what it's gonna be used for, and you got a primary dwelling in there, is there gonna be a firewall in between and so forth in case something happens in the garage? It's all safety issues.
Great question. If I can get back to you on that, I would assume that's all part of the plans because they do know that there would be people living, I mean.
It's living
staying there.
quarters and then there's, storage there, so it doesn't take much.
Right.
Now, they'd have to, code would be.
Code would enforce that.
Yeah, code.
Well,
would-
they have to.
Everybody has a firewall
Right.
between,
Right, but
Living
usually
in-
those things are done, when you're at the planning stages, not down the road.
no, the inspector would inspect the firewall.
Well, you should, yeah, but it should be shown in a firewall. If you're gonna have a residential thing in there, you should show that.
I realize,
firewall.
but that wouldn't be something she would have, that would be,
No,
that-
that's why I asked. if
that
it
would be
was-
the builder and the
That's
inspector.
why I asked if it was after,
So
the building was built and you decided after.
Dan,
Yeah, no,
Okay.
the inspector has been out at least once, maybe twice
Okay.
already.
when they came in with the application for the conditional use, they were just, I don't even know if they were at the point of pouring footings yet. Because when this all came through and I sent out the notices, because there was a little bit of a, hey, like you're building before you've got the conditional use. So we had to do our own investigation and we found out that they had applied for the building permit for the garage. And this was coming in after the fact. So they had already had approval and hadn't built anything other than, started working on the foundation.
Okay.
So anything going on for, code wise would have came in, after they adjusted their plans. You understand what I'm saying?
Just,
Kinda.
Okay.
Cart before the horse sometimes.
Right, but I mean,
You know.
so, the fire, it's not like the building
Yeah.
was there before
Yeah.
they decided to change it.
Okay.
So they changed it literally
Before.
midstream.
The initial plans have been.
But there won't
approved.
be no garage now, so there'll be all living space.
No, there's
no.
gonna be garage.
Oh, there'll be a garage.
There's a garage.
I think it's 3,400 square feet, right? The overall
You got,
facility.
900 square feet for living space, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a little more than that, but I mean, that still leaves you whatever you're gonna store in that building.
Yeah, 2,100 square feet or so. So
Yeah.
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 It's just a safety issue. Just
Thank
Did-
you.
did you
questioning.
say- You guys got more questions? Okay, did you say your sister's handicap?
She is.
Is, this addition gonna meet all ADA requirements?
So she's not in a wheelchair. She's still able to walk, but so it's more of a mental disability, mental, physical. I mean, walking is difficult for her, but she doesn't need a wheelchair. That's another thing I do believe, there aren't ramps, but I do believe that it would allow, the shower, I think, would be wide enough. Doorways would be wide enough if a wheelchair were to be necessary at some point.
Well, since, nobody knows the future, maybe it'd be prudent to have those things in place before you get wrapping it up and then finding out that, this should have been done. I'm just thinking for the safety of, your sister and
And
you,
her
if you're gonna be taking care of her, that she would have a facility ready to go, for the future, which is unknown at this point in time.
I appreciate that. Those are both good points. Thank you for bringing those up. We'll make sure that we.
I move to approve the request by John and Kesha Baki, thank you, for conditional use to allow for an ADU in existing A1 zone at W1201 County Road CW, parcel number 012-0816 0323-001.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signal by aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, resolution 2026-6 budget amendment. Move remaining road loan fund from fund balance to contracted road repair in the amount of $200,899.90.
I make a motion to move $200,899.99 from road loan fund into the fund balance.
No, it's not. It's coming, it's in fund balance
Fund
and we're
balance.
taking it and putting it into the budget.
Okay, it says on here, move remaining road loan
From the fund balance
from, okay,
to the contracted road
Contracted
repair.
okay, correct that. Make a motion to remove the remaining road loan fund from the fund balance to the contracted road repair in the amount of $200,000, $899.90.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signal by aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion of possible action regarding request for payment number 2 from Kartechner Brothers LLC in the amount of $71,717.97 for 2026 road project.
I make a motion to request payment number 2 for Kartechner Brothers LLC in the amount of $71,717.97 for the 2026 road project.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion?
Just a question, the retainage on that one, the contract versus the current. Why is there a difference? Shouldn't there be-
The amount is actually, we had a savings, we did not, cost of the roads did not cost as much as the contract, so there's actually going to be, the retainage will be there, but the excess there is a lot half.
Okay,
We didn't have, based on measurements from the engineers, we had that much savings of asphalt. For
Okay.
this figure, so.
perfect. Thanks, Ben.
Yep.
No further questions.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signal by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion and possible action regarding final request payment number 5 from Kartechner Brothers LLC 2025 road project in the amount of $23,073.90.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion?
Yeah, I have a question for Ben. Has that work been checked, verified, and it's in good
Yep,
order?
That's the work from 2025, that was the Marietta Road work, and, it's all been satisfactory to date, so, any repairs that we didn't have any extra repairs that they needed to come do this year, so.
Okay.
They did the restoration work on the dirt work and the ditches on Marietta, so good to go.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, signal by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion and possible action regarding request to create a dog kennel impound area inside building number 2.
Yep, this is me, I'm requesting, since we've had a couple dogs that need to be catched this year, I need a place to put them, can't take take them home to my house. So I'm requesting, there's a empty room at the old wastewater treatment plant that there's nothing in it. It's just a cinder block room, but I would like to put a kennel or a cage or a kennel cage in there so that there's a separation so I can have two doorways. And also there's thoughts of cutting a hole in the wall so there's gonna be an outside run onto the cement, just a little space so that the dog could go out there. I think we've had to catch 4 or 5 dogs this year.
Yeah, and I had 2 of them at my house
Yes.
for quite a while.
Yeah, and we can take them as long as the Water County Humane Society is open. We can take them there. I was able to get one dog there before 5 o'clock. I got it at 4:45 and was able to make it there, called ahead. But otherwise, they're closed on Mondays and the weekends. So if they're not there, we have to have the dog somewhere until the owner comes and picks them up. Luckily, we've been able to find people very
Yeah, we try to put them out on Facebook, say that we have them before we have to like take them down to the Humane Society. And a lot of times people, will see that and they come and get their dog before we have to transport them. But it'd be nice to have.
But we do need a place.
Yeah,
So it's gonna cost, I had figured if I don't put the run outside, it's gonna cost about $700 for the kennel, the chain link kennel. And if we go outside, it'd be about $1,500.
The building then across the road, correct? The building, is that what you're talking about?
The building is at the at the old wastewater treatment
Yeah.
plant. It's
The one across from the transfer site.
across from the transfer site, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there's an old, it's a cinder block room
Yes.
that was used for storage, that
Okay.
now there's nothing in there. It's a 4 wall that's perfect for this.
It's perfect for this.
Yeah.
Question, Ben, how many dogs will this unit facilitate?
At the moment, it would only hold one, or, it's only gonna be one cage,
Uh-huh.
so.
I'm just wondering, if that second stray comes in, what's the situation then? I'm just talking,
we had we had one person who had 2 dogs and they were good sized dogs. They were, I don't know what they were. They were like I don't know. They were some
They
type
were
of
some
doodle.
poodle.
Yeah, poodle mix. And we had 2 of them in there and they did fine. But I don't know if you would, if you had, like a dog from 2 different owners that you'd trust to put them in there, you don't know if they're gonna get along or not.
Well, first of all, we have to have a spot for one.
Right.
And we still have the contract with Watertown. So, I mean, chances are if we had a second one, we could take it there. It
would be only for holding them for overnight.
except for if it
Weekends.
happens
Or
Friday
weekend, yeah.
afternoon, then we have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, they're closed.
Yeah.
So there's, or holiday, whatever,
If push come to shove, one could come out by me, but right now, if we have a place to go, it would be better. That one night I had 2 dogs spend the night with me. They were in my shop.
The only other suggestion would be to get a smaller,
But because they're
or
closed.
a large crate for one. That would be my suggestion to have that as well, but I would say go with this and then for sure, after we get this done, then I would also, later on, we'll ask to add onto the fee schedule for a impounding fee for us as well. So that is tacked onto people's fees.
Sure.
If we do have to catch their dog.
Yeah.
Good point, thank you.
Ben, I know we just, and Dan just brought this up too, is we just recently approved the boarding place up there. Is that something we could contract with them, do you think, on retention?
They're private business.
I know they're private, and I get that, but that's what I'm saying, we'd have to contract with them, right?
Once it'd be up in Watertown, you could maybe,
They don't even have their facility built.
No, but I'm
know,
saying in the
I know.
future.
Well, this is for now.
I know,
mean,
I get that.
Like I said, it's gonna cost $700 to $1,500 to put this in, so, we'll install it, we just have to get this done.
Right now, it's money well spent.
I don't wanna have, we had one, the dog was nice enough, it did sit in my office for a while, but, I don't really wanna continue that.
Yeah, it rolled in some stinky stuff.
Yeah, oh yeah, they usually do.
I move to approve the the request to create a dog kennel impound area inside building 2 of the old sanitation district. Amount not to exceed $2,000.
I second it.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion and possible action regarding quotes for window and door replacement at Town Hall.
So this is, a quote to replace the 2 windows, or 2 sets of windows that are in Joanne's office, and also mine. The thermal panes they get foggy. Joanne's is actually leaking, we need to fix it. Before I can fix the wall in the room, the window needs to be fixed. There's also a quote for replacing the back door that, leaks as well and is rotting through. Snow blows through in the winter time. And there's, the 2 quotes, one from Jefferson Glass and one from Hometown Glass. I would suggest going with Hometown Glass. That is, roughly about $800 cheaper, I believe.
Anything on the quality of window that they're gonna be using, did they say?
It's the same windows,
Same window.
bronze finish, thermal pane.
Okay.
They're both, I mean, they're very comparable quotes. They both knew what they were talking about when they looked at it. Once we get the windows fixed, then we can work on the other repairs.
Is that more than just a standard service door back there?
It is a steel fire door. Not fire door, but it's a steel. It's because it's mortared in.
Oh.
To be removed, so it's gonna take a little more to get it out.
Let's say that's.
Yeah,
Yeah, the jam is mortared in.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And it's the installation.
Ben, what's the deficiency with, say, the windows in Joanne's office? I'm not clear.
Let's see. The thermal panes are cracked, so the gas that's in between the 2 windows is gone.
Okay, so there's a crack in the glass? Is it visible?
You can't see it, but the windows fog and they cause condensation, which then runs off, and that's what runs
Okay,
down the
how
wall.
about in your office? What's the,
They're also,
same
Yeah.
story, okay.
Do you wanna,
so it's the windows on the west side of the building and the door. I did get a quote for the entire building, but that was $14,000 for the rest of the windows, which they are all.
Yeah.
It's an old building now, so
Uh-huh.
they are going to need to be replaced.
We've got more than just those seals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 14,000 in building repairs for the town hall. So this, I figured we'd do half at a time.
Do you know what the deficiency with the door is? Is it weather or is it salt?
It's a steel door and it's rotting from the salt. Yeah, and there's it's aged.
It's just called general maintenance.
Yeah.
I'm guessing original to the building.
Yeah,
Yes.
just general maintenance.
Thank you.
Move to approve the request regarding the quote and going with hometown quote. Yeah, sorry. Move to approve the request request to replace the doors and windows at the town hall as outlined in the hometown quote. Hometown door and glass and improvements, sorry.
Do I have a second?
I second it.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signal by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, discussion and possible action regarding requests to list various town items for sale.
That's just a list of items that we can sell on the surplus auction. Or possibility, some of them could be put on the, Joanne wants to try selling something on the rummage sale this weekend.
Oh, there you go.
If you have any questions on the items, these are the ones that the.
You have a list of items?
I have to ask, pile of logs.
I have a pile of logs that sit that when we cut trees that end up on the yard. And we always put them on the auction
That's it, yeah.
so that somebody can come and get them.
Pile of logs.
They're down there.
I know,
For what's that? What do you got some on?
pile of logs.
Well,
People use them for firewood.
Yep.
you need some?
No, I got plenty.
Come over, you can
Just
go
makes
up
it
and cut
easier
for
for the
Clean up my,
kids to have.
clean up the woods.
Okay, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
I second it.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay, discussion and possible action regarding the 3-year contract with Stryker agreement for annual maintenance on Stryker-owned equipment used by fire department personnel in the amount of $27,017.25.
Yeah, so this is our Stryker contract. It includes all the maintenance for the 3 years, and any service work that we need to have done on the equipment that we currently have. The Stryker.
Is this what you had last year? Am I trying to get, I know you had a problem with somebody getting back to you. This isn't this contract, correct?
Correct, no.
Okay,
No.
that was something else.
This is a contract you want to renew, because if you're out of contract, the repairs are out of this world.
Correct, and you pay service charges and all kinds of.
Yeah,
different
no, you,
And to put it in perspective, we have roughly $150,000 to $180,000 worth of Stryker equipment at the fire station. So,
no, this is one, I'll make the motion that, we go with the agreement.
I second it.
Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second, to go with Stryker. Is there, any other discussion?
Just want to confirm that this includes the annual inspections on these 7 items,
correct, yep.
which would be thousands in themselves, so,
Yeah,
it's a no-brainer.
so all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, opposed, motion carries. Okay, consider possible action regarding the hiring of William Burgum and Cole Newitz as paid on call firefighter EMS personnel.
Yeah, so we had 2 new applicants for the fire department, so I'm just looking for approval to hire them. Both of which have their EMT basics license already. William is only 17, he turns 18 in November, so he's just looking for a sponsorship at this time to go through fire school, or he's in high school. So that's why we're hiring him.
So is he technically gonna be a paid-on-call firefighter
No, not
Okay.
at this time.
until he turns 18?
Until he turns 18.
And we are still waiting on the drug tests.
For both or one?
For both.
Okay.
So the background checks have been completed and they're satisfactory, but we're just doing the actual.
So we can approve them based on
Yep.
their pass of the drug test.
Correct.
I make a motion to approve, Mark Alexander and William, I'm on the wrong,
Yep, William Burgum.
William Burgum and Cole Nemitz, for the fire department, firefighter / EMS personnel, and when Cole becomes 18, then to be paid.
Pending
Regarding the
drug
drug
test?
test.
Well, and passing of the drug
Rick, I
test.
thought you were gonna nail it, but I had to put it in there for you.
I got caught on these other points and I forgot the drugs. Shame on me.
You're early on, and I'm like,
I'm
he's
ready
got this.
I'm ready for a drug test.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say by aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion and possible action regarding resolution 2026-7, order for special election for municipal court judge for Lake County Municipal Court. This is just sort of a slam dunk.
Yeah, so yes, they need your permission to hold, because normally, I guess the Judge K that was there, his term ended in 2028, but because he resigned, they have a temporary in place right now. they want to hold a special election at the spring election to, for people to
To
run.
put a permanent,
Yep, to finish the term.
That's what I was wondering. I looked at this and there's nothing about resignation in here, so I thought.
Yeah,
well,
that
that's-
was
okay.
last.
that
month.
was, yeah.
It's actually got messy,
Yeah,
real messy, but here or there.
well, whatever.
So moved.
Second it.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor, signal by aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion and possible action regarding appointing Mark Alexander and William Millett as the election workers for the 2026-2027 election cycle.
How many up to?
Not enough.
So moved.
Thanks.
I second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signal by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Staff updates. Joanne?
So we had the election last week. We had 916 voters, Joni? Yes, 916 voters, of which 193 were, absentee ballots. We had the, Badger books all set up and going. We did have a little bit of a snafu with them at the get-go, before we opened, but we were able to get that all figured out, and so we were ready to go by 7:00, and we heard nothing but good reviews from everybody that was coming in. We had some people that might have been a little hesitant, but once it was explained to them, they they took care of business and got it done, and all the workers were they were happy with it. I haven't heard any complaints, so we're looking forward to November and hopefully a much more smoother operation. But after all that's been said and done, 916 voters turned out to be a 28% voter turnout.
21?
28%,
28?
yes.
Okay.
Which, being a primary and having to do party preference, I still thought that was a pretty good turnout for voter participation. Because
See-
people don't like to have to pick the party and vote and that. So
With Badger Books, you're optimistic for November.
I am very, yes. It went so smooth. Loading the election onto it and getting them in the Badger books. I mean, it took seconds. Then with the processing the day, it went very well. The election workers were able to do registration, and it's like we found out, like, when we first were doing it, we're like, there were some things when I purchased it that weren't working. And so I was like on the phone, like making phone calls like throughout the day to the Wisconsin Elections Commission going, well, I thought I was supposed to do this. I thought I was supposed to do this. So they helped me, figure all that out. And once I would go out and fix it, all of a sudden, now, like it'll scan like our absentee ballots. We won't have to punch in names, right? There's a scanner like underneath the screen. There's a barcode. It'll scan that. It'll bring the person up. The person, the election worker will then just state the name and address, match it to the screen, good to go, and process it. Same thing with people coming in to vote. Like if they give you your license, they can scan it. It'll bring them right up on the screen, verify the address and name and everything. And it's that's just part of the process with keeping everything moving. Same thing with registration. A new person to vote or moving here, but either way. But it's you can scan their document and it'll like pre-fill the screen, answer a couple questions, and it's good to go. I mean, it's and then the next day by 9:00, I had my entire election participation uploaded to the state. And I had all my reports printed off that I needed to take to the county. I mean, it really just hours worth of work was done in minutes. So thank you guys very much for purchasing those Badger books, because it really made a difference for me. It's unbelievable. So.
Well, if it does the hype or live up to the hype,
Right,
So
exactly.
It's good to see.
And I was talking with a clerk friend over the weekend, and I said, I don't understand why the state doesn't make it mandatory, because this just it saves so much time.
That's great news.
Yeah, so very much appreciative of the purchase.
Public Works Superintendent Ben?
We have brought on Chris Woodard to fill the vacancy that we had for the cruise person, when Jeremy moved to the utility. He started last Monday. He's been a very good addition to the team. And now that we are fully staffed in the coming weeks, the crew is going to be working on replacing a culvert in the Fireman's Park by the pull track. It's been needed to be replaced for a while. There's a collector box there that we needed to take out and replace. Also, they're gonna be doing some mastic, which is like tar, on roads that still need additional crack filling, coming up this next month. One other thing, I've been working with the developments. I've had a few meetings with utilities for electric and gas, and for the placement of the right-of-ways. Those took place last week. I have another one the first week of September for the Autumn Ridge developments. So they're continuing to work through those. Sounds like they're getting ready to gear up and start working. Once we have our development agreements, that they're also working on finishing as well. And I'll just do the utility quick. Last week, the wastewater treatment plant had some mounts and bearings that had to be replaced on the oxidation ditch. That was replaced under warranty work from Stop Construction, along with some repainting that's going to be taking place in the clarifiers. That some paint had chipped off inside the clarifier, so it had to be repainted and spot painted. During that time, since we had to shut down portions of the plant, we have suspended the septage and holding receiving. Done that. And we will have I'm having a pre-construction meeting tomorrow for the decommissioning of the old wastewater treatment plant. And I would expect the deconstruction and the construction of the berms at the new plant to be taking place there in mid-September. So that is all I have, unless you have any questions.
Status on Jeremy's certifications licenses.
He is set to take a test in beginning of September, his first 2 tests. So he's got those on schedule, and after those we'll be continuing after that.
Perfect, thanks.
Fire and EMS Chief Kalasauer.
Yeah, so July was a super busy month for us. We ran 42 calls in the month of July. We had 1 structure fire in the town of Watertown. We were very lucky that neighbors and the homeowner were able to keep it at bay until we got on scene. It happened during daytime hours, so we were able to get out the door very fast and get on scene very fast and keep it at bay. But yeah, July's runs going up that much. We're currently at as of August 1st, we're at 240 calls for the year compared to 215 calls last time at that time. And we're currently at a 15.8% increase if this continues for end of year. So that's more than double the call volume increase that I previously predicted. Past years, it's been about 7%. So for the past 5 years. So that would put us at 54 calls over our call volume last year, putting us at 412 calls for the year. So it's been busy.
For what? 412?
412. August, we were a little bit slower the first couple weeks, but this last week was busy and made up for it. So we're right back there at the call velocity. Staffing, we brought on a ton of new people this year, which is exciting. But that's a double-edged sword too, because now we're running out of turnout gear to give those members. So next year we'll be budgeting for some turnout.
And remind, what's the cost of a set of turnout gear? Roughly? I mean, roughly, to be exact.
Everything is like $5,500.
Okay.
That it?
I know you've been engaged on looking at the firehouse and how, how it can service you now, what your needs are. What can the board do to help with any advancements on anything with that project, with that?
I guess, as a fire department, we'd like some insight on what the board sees, or what direction the board sees the fire department going in the coming years. I guess my personal opinion, if the numbers continue to increase, that fire station is not gonna be sufficient for very long. Be able to house 24/7 on-site staffing, like, you know, that's part of the countywide EMS. That's their goal, is to have 24/7 on-site staffing. We can't do that here, so.
And I know we had Laura, was her name, in from
Yeah.
one of the firms.
Yeah.
I found the presentation to be very eye-opening. Is that something that can be done for the community at large?
I mean, we could do it again. That's something that we feel needed, and there's gonna be a cost to that.
Yeah.
They gotta come though, too, you know what I mean? It's a mandatory thing, so.
Well, I think you were out of town it was kind of a weird one where you were out of town and I think Brian was tied up.
No, you never let me know.
That's it.
I told you to call me.
I was trying to.
Nobody
I was
called.
trying
Well,
to-
okay, we're getting off schedule, we're getting off here, guys.
I was trying to-
This is not open for discussion, he's giving us a report. Okay, so moving on then, upcoming meetings, Joanne?
So the plan commission is set to, meet August 25th, at 7 PM. They did, cancel that at this point, due to the uncertainty for, Perry's, memorial service. So we're trying to reschedule that, so, you know, it's not gonna be the 25th, so we're trying to reschedule that, waiting for, the plan commission members to get back to me on, their availability. So we'll have more information on that coming up soon. The Exonia Fire Department Officers Meeting is September 2nd at 6:30. Park and Recreation Meeting, because September 7th is Labor Day, they opted to meet September 8th, which is Tuesday at 5 PM. And then our town board meeting is September 14th at 7 PM.
Move to adjourn?
A question, Joanne.
Sorry.
Joanne?
Yes?
We don't have any information on the Perry services at this point.
No.
Then how can we not schedule this when we don't even know when it's going to be?
Well,
I'm
I
just
have
asking.
preliminary information.
Oh,
So
okay.
I just didn't want to make it public yet.
Oh, okay. all right.
Nothing is finalized.
Nothing has been finalized. So the information that I had received, would be in, could be, in conflict with that.
Okay.
So
All right.
that's why I reached out to the plan commission chair and, Dave, because he is the town representative, on that commission. And, Heather got back to me and asked for, me to meet, contact the rest of the plan commission members to see what their availability is for a later meeting time.
I was not in the know of any of this new information.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to adjourn.
Who's second? I'm just asking.
I second.
Okay, thank you.
All's in favor, signal by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Or adjourned?
Can I talk with you in your office for 4 minutes?
I'm not gonna make it late. Tonight's my anniversary night, remember, dude?
Oh, that's right. I just need you to sign a couple things before you
Yeah,
leave.
well, I gotta use the
I
bathroom
wanna
first.
talk to you when you're done for that.
Yeah.
Yes, no, so.
Well,
with
it's
the
52
band-
years,
what-
and
the
it's not
only
like
thing
it's
that
the first or
screw up
second
was
one.
that I
okay, but-
created a password.
I should
for,
at least
you know,
Make an
everyone
appearance.
has to have their own
Yeah,
login.
spend a few minutes with
And so
her.
that
I
when
did
they-
get a
when they
plant
step away or
this
their
afternoon.
shift is done, they
Oh,
have to log in,
sweet.
log out,
Oh,
whatever.
nice.
And, so when everybody was trying.
Normally I forgo that.
Every 50 years, you
It
give
was
them
not
every-
accepted accepting any of their passwords, so I'm like freaking out, you know, like, oh my God. So I had to like.
Yeah, it's not like it's the
I had
first
to
or
like
second
redo
one.
everybody's password for the first shift. And, you know, and then because I'm the, you know, I'm the only one with administrative powers, I was like, well, I'll worry about the second shift later. And I'm like, well, you know, so then I had to do it the second time, the second shift. And so I
Right.
ended up going in and just creating a very simple password.
The other one was right
As
next
far
to
as like
67.
keeping on blast it out.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God.
I would
You know, and I've always
went out in
been,
the
you know, like
springtime.
one that really never had to like reach out to them on election day
And then she got in touch with
for
you.
help.
Yes, you
I-
called me.
I had
And
texted
so
you
when I was
also.
reaching